When it comes to my journal, I've chosen to go with a combination of the traveler's journal setup and a singular book for your bullet journal. So let's go ahead and dive in. This is my journal. I got this from Barnes & Noble years ago. This is just a leather cover. And what you do is it has little pockets and you pick a journal and you put it into the little pockets. So let's go ahead and unwrap this and get into it. My journal has 2 books in it. So let me go ahead and explain to you why I have 2. This year I decided not to buy any new journals. I wanted to use up what I already had, and that's because of minimalism. I didn't want to bring any more things in, especially when I had the supplies to actually use and do something with. So that's why I have a little bit of an eclectic setup for this coming year. This first journal is a beautifully textured wood bark journal, and it's actually pretty thin. It's not very thick, and what I've chosen to do with this side of my journal is put in all of my life trackers. So I have things in here like my self-care routine, and I also have trackers for date nights and girls' nights and travel, and then I also have an entertainment tracker that has all of the shows and videos and podcasts that I want to, and movies that I want to make sure that I see next year, or that I'm looking forward to sharing with other people, and I put them in this journal. That way I don't forget about them as the year goes on. I have my minimalism game trackers, and I'll give you a quick sneak peek. It's a bunch of lines that I'm going to be striking out with a line and with a dot as I finish the minimalism game. And if you don't know what that is, I'll go ahead and leave some resources down below. I also have trackers in here for cleaning routines, like my monthly cleaning routine and quarterly cleaning routines, and then like things that I need to change out yearly in my home. And I also have a step tracker in this journal and a need, want, and waiting on spread. So I can't wait to show you guys this. This is going to be a really fun setup. Moving on to the other side of my journal. This is actually going to be my lunar bullet journal and spiritual bujo tracker. This is where I'm going to have the bulk of my self-care practices. I'm going to have spreads in here like self-care. I'll have my lunar cycle set up in there. I'll have 13 moons, and each moon and every month I'm going to be planning out the month with a monthly spread, the moon cycle with a lunar spread, and then before that new moon cycle, I'm actually going to be sharing with you a practical tarot new moon journaling prompt, which I'm very excited to share with you guys. So the style that I'm going to be using is a mostly pen and ink style and a very minimal amount of collaging. I'm not really going to be putting too much collage work into this. I'm mainly going to be using it to cover up some things that I didn't necessarily love as much after I got done putting them down in ink in my journal. That is actually a great way to cover up your mistakes or to change up your journal if it turns out that you don't actually love something that you went ahead and put in there before. The theme of my bullet journal is actually going to be life, with my life trackers that I shared with you in that beautiful bark journal, spirituality with naturescapes and botanicals. I'm really excited about this illustration style because it's something that is actually going to inspire me every time that I open it, and it's just going to make me feel more connected and grounded to the earth, and it's going to give me those feelings that I had back on the farm growing up, just living in nature and being amongst all of the plants and the animals that we had while I was growing up. So I'm very excited about this theme for this year. And since this isn't actually going to be my daily planner, I'm going to be using my bullet journal a couple times a week in a very dedicated space where I sit down and take like 20 to 30 minutes to fill it out. but I will be using it with the trackers on a daily basis. I'll be checking in each morning and each evening to go ahead and tick off some of the things that I've finished. In the future, since I'm not actually going to be using up what I have, I will be able to actually get a new bullet journal. I'm thinking that I want a heavier weight paper and probably something with a dotted grid. I'm thinking that the TUL notebook is going to be a really good thing for me. And the thing with the TUL system is it will also be much easier with archiving for me because I'm going with a digital archive system. So the way that I currently archive my journals is I go ahead and fill them out. So far, all of my journals have been traditional lined bound journals. And I take an X-Acto knife, and what I do is I open up the pages and then score all the way down the spine and pull out the pages one by one and go ahead and scan them with my little Doxie Scanner, which is this teeny tiny thing. It's like this big, it's so compact, and I love it. I'll be talking about it in a future video once I show you my process for digitally archiving your bullet journals. So let me know if that's something that you would like to see in the comments down below, because that is something that I would definitely love to share with you guys. So in addition to talking about that Doxie Scanner and showing you how I digitally archive my journals, I'm going to be talking about my favorite supplies, which is pens and erasers and pencils and markers and all sorts of really great office supplies that I love for bullet journaling. And then I'm going to be giving you a tour of my lunar and spiritual bullet journal for next year. And I'll show you all of my life trackers. I'll show you my spiritual setup and my lunar bullet journal setup. It's just going to be chock full of so much spiritual tracking goodness. And I actually can't wait for next year to have like a whole setup like this that includes life trackers and spirituality trackers all in one place. I think it's going to be really great for my spiritual practice to be able to meld the two together in a representation like this with this journal. So stick around and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And I'm so grateful that you actually chose to spend your time here with me today. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.